Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. If you are new here, I am Amber of Unique Upcycles, and in today's video, I am actually going to be painting something I hate. I'm going to be doing a chair. I hate chairs. If you guys saw my dining chair makeover, you'll know why. I did a little purge in my garage the other weekend and just sat some things out on the curb that I knew that I wasn't getting around to painting, and the damn chair was the only thing left that didn't get claimed. So I live in Washington, rain was in the forecast, and instead of letting it just get destroyed by the elements, I brought it inside and decided that I would just try out some new colors I haven't used. I'm going to be doing some sea salt texture powder that I haven't used before, so just kind of experiment with it. I'm going to be upholstering the seat cushion. It's going to be the second time I've ever upholstered anything, so could use the practice. So little things like this, like little chairs or tables or whatever, that's just not really worth a lot. These are the perfect pieces for you to experiment with new techniques, new colors, just have fun with it. So if you have not already subscribed to my channel and you like to see makeovers, furniture flips, trash to treasures, all that good stuff, be sure to hit that little subscribe button and the little bell notification. I try to post every Sunday for the most part, or Saturday, or just weekend, I try to post when I feel like it. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, and here is the sad little chair that nobody wanted with the broken leg that I decided to just take in and fix anyways. First step was to disassemble the seat from the frame, so just using my DeWalt impact driver, I unscrewed everything and took that apart so it was easier to clean to paint, as well as I was able to then reupholster the seat. For the first repair on the leg, I used some Gorilla Glue to glue the joint back together, and then I used a corner clamp to hold it in place, and I let it sit overnight to fully dry. After that first joint was finished drying, I repeated the same process with Gorilla Glue and clamps to fix the side where the wood and veneer was splitting off. I also added in a screw to help reinforce that joint together to make sure it was structurally sound. While the glue was drying, I used some wood filler to fill in any scratches or imperfections, and then I sanded it smooth once that was also dry. I applied one coat of Zinsser Bin shellac-based primer to the entire frame using a chip brush. While I waited for my primer to dry, I moved on to removing the hundreds of staples off the bottom of the seat that was holding the fabric in place. Like I said earlier, this is only the second time I've ever reupholstered anything, so I just kind of put the wood on over the batting. I did double up like my batting thickness, like I had it folded in half so that it would be thicker. I just cut it to size, and then just using my staple gun, I just stapled everything in place to the best that I can. I know that anybody that professionally reupholsters stuff is probably cringing right now at how I'm doing these corners, but it worked. It doesn't look bad at the end, like it totally works. And then I repeated the same process for the actual fabric, and the fabric is a linen tablecloth that I got for $3 at Value Village that I just washed and steamed all the wrinkles out of before I cut it and started stapling it in place. The first color we'll be using today is Signature Teal by Mélange. I applied a total of 2 coats of this using my zebra square brush to the frame of the chair. After the 2 base coats have dried, it's time to move on to adding the sea salt texture. So it is a ratio of 1 cup of paint to a 1/4 cup of texture. I knew I didn't need that much, so I kind of just eyeballed it. I poured some paint into a salsa container and then added the texture powder in just little increments and stirred it up until I got the consistency that I liked. You want it to look kind of like a brownie batter. Thickness is what you're going for. I then used the Mélange small natural bristle brush and just stippled it into place. You can just put more wherever you want it. This is really up to your preference. If you just want a little bit, if you want a lot. I covered the entire chair in this texture powder. I wanted lots of texture, and if it starts to thicken up on you, you can add a little bit of water or you can add a little bit more paint to thin it out as it thickens up as the time goes on. After it was all dry, I just took my hand and brushed off any loose little textures that did not stick to the paint. Now using the color Paradise, I'm going to dry brush in over the top of that texture to give it some depth. If you're new to dry brushing, basically you just take a dry brush with a very, very small amount of paint on it and just lightly feather it onto the surface. So here I'm kind of stippling and brushing just to catch that texture to kind of give a little difference in depth. There's a couple different colors going on, so it just adds more to the piece. To seal in my paint, I am using Dixie Belle's Big Mama's Butter in the scent Orange Clove. I am applying this with my Jolie pointed wax brush. This brush was really expensive. I think it was like $50. Mélange does have a pointed wax brush for much cheaper. I don't think they had it at the time when I bought this. So if you are on a budget, I would recommend getting the Mélange pointed brush instead. That's also something that you can use my discount code on. And then I'm just wiping back any excess wax with a clean microfiber cloth. And then to reattach the seat, I just placed it back on, and then using the same screws that I originally took out, I am just screwing everything back into place. Okay, let's take a look back at what we started with. And here is the final reveal. As always, let me know if you guys have any questions or anything in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next weekend.